Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. As long as Nintendo is on their way to the Bandai Namco store, why don't they just pick up some Yacht Club? You know all I can teach you. Go! So the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including the news from the last 3 weeks. And then on Thursday, it's gaming's biggest night. Yes, that's right. It returns. It's the 6th annual Cartridge Awards. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Do you think that outside of fiction, the interaction that our Zelda 2 quote is dramatizing, it happens in real life? Have I just not studied under someone at an elite enough level to reach this point where they're like, I'm fresh out of knowledge for you?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been taught something by someone who said, I have nothing more to teach you.
Yeah. Get out of here. Go do that thing you're going to do.
Because then, and look, I took, music lessons for a very long time. And, first of all, I wasn't that good. But second, even if you get to a point where they can't teach you anything anymore, they want you to keep paying for lessons.
It feels like in a capitalist society.
Yeah.
This will rarely happen.
Right. They'll always be like, "No, I can still teach you stuff."
Yeah, sure. You can always get better.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah, and maybe
except for me, I hit a point where I could not get any better.
Yeah,
then I just got worse for the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe the teacher at that point should have said, stop. Don't do this anymore.
Right.
You're regressing.
Not that I have nothing more to teach you, but you will not learn anymore. Feel like the spirit behind it is a little bit different. Mark, before we dig into today and all of the news that we're going to cover from many weeks behind us now, gotta shout out Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if people are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, they get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
Yeah, and we have a really exciting episode of NCS at the Movies coming out this weekend, timed with the release on Netflix of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. We are it's a crossover episode with the first miniseries we ever did, NCS Detective Club, with special guest Ryan Mogi. We've already recorded it. It's a very good discussion, and you can look forward to that.
A very good discussion about a movie that we had lots of thoughts about.
Yes.
So check that out if you are subscribed at the 8 or 16-bit levels. If you are at the 4-bit level or even following us for free, there is stuff to check out there, including the aforementioned NCS Detective Club. So check that all out. It's all laid out there. If you would like to get in a ongoing chat room with all of us who listen to the show and who make the show, you can get on over to the Discord by emailing us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and I'll send you an invitation. I think it's the first time I've ever explained what Discord is before revealing I was talking about Discord. I described it as a chat room.
I liked it. Maybe longtime listeners were like, what is this new thing?
Yeah.
A chat room? That's a new feature.
Did you ever do chat rooms when you were like in Internet 1.0?
Oh my gosh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And
wandering into places you shouldn't be.
Definitely. Pretending to be people you weren't.
It's the internet, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Internet 1.0, probably 2.0. What point internet are we on right now?
I have no idea.
So I recently moved, and so we've got a lot of like new appliances and stuff. And I was reminded of the phrase from maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Because our washer dryer, we've got an app for it, and like. It's just a very strange experience to be like, oh, yes, all these things need to have the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, I have found some of our appliances do that as well, and I found it to be not worth it. I think probably the best thing is getting push notifications when, your laundry's done.
Yeah, that's nice. I also like the idea that I can put clothes in the washer, go away, and then, when I'm going to come back in an hour, tell it to start
Yeah.
so that like
Yeah, theoretically that's nice.
am I ever going to remember to do it?
But it's worth exposing your internet password to these like crappy
Well,
security.
here's the thing is that now because of we had like guys come in to install the internet, so we have like bifurcated the network. So
Oh,
all of
wow.
the Internet of Things machines are on their own separate auxiliary Wi-Fi network.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't actually know if that does anything or protects us at all from a malicious LG washer, but it might. All right, Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. And of course, a malicious LG washer might be the kind of thing that you would encounter in Metroid Prime 4.
It's true.
Which we have both been playing. So I think we should just start there, talk a little bit about I'm still early days in Metroid Prime 4. I don't know where exactly you are.
I'm like, I think I've maybe played 3.5 or 4 hours, but I haven't made as much progress as I would like because I keep dying. And so I have to like go back to the last starting point. In fact, it got to such a state that last night I was fighting like a mini boss character, and I was like, do you know what? I'm doing it. I'm cranking this down to casual.
Wow.
Like I'm sick of dying.
What was the mini boss?
I guess like casual spoilers for the first few hours of the game, but so I'm in the second area,
the Volt Forge.
Yes. The like Viola factory.
Yes.
And I just
that big sphere guy.
So the one that's like has like the little drones flying around it.
Oh, okay, that one. Okay.
Yeah, where you're like outside.
Yes.
You have to start one of the electrical things, and then the big drone comes after you. Yeah. That, and then but I had previously died on the like there's like a room when you first encounter it in the Volt Forge where 3 of those drones show up, and then you kill the 3, and then another 3 show up.
Yeah.
Like I died there, and having to keep going back, I was just like, no more. I am not enjoying this enough that I want to do some sort of like Bloodborne type thing where the joy for me is not in getting better at this. I just want to make progress. And so I just fought like the fake Silux for the first time.
Yes.
And then I am at the part where I'm doing these like Viola trials or whatever.
Yes.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So I'm just a little bit beyond that. I've completed the Volt Forge, which like once you do the Viola trials and get your Viola license, which is such a hilarious thing that like you need to be certified on the bike before it lets you drive it outside. I've done that, fought the boss at the end of the Volt Forge, and then launched myself back out into the desert, riding this bike around. And I've encountered a new biome, and I'm very early in that new biome. But Mark, how are you feeling about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond?
Yeah, I am digging it. I am really enjoying, like, I don't know what it is. I had a fair amount of skepticism going in, but in the last like preview trailer or overview trailer that they released, in the previews, the written previews from sites and stuff, they were talking about the Galactic Federation having soldiers and all this kind of stuff, and I was thumbs down on that because the Galactic Federation was like my least favorite part of any Metroid game. But this time I don't know what it is, but I'm like, oh, this is like Aliens. Like the opening of this is like Aliens, and from that perspective I was able to
the opening is cool.
It. The opening is cool.
Like cuz you're at like the Federation base, and like the planet has a name but who can remember. And like there are guys there that are like, "Hey Samus, what's up?"
I thought it was so cool to be like, Samus is here. Samus, it's like, I don't know. I thought all that was fun. Here's a potentially controversial opinion. I'm like, did the Miles McKenzie thing. I didn't think he was very annoying. So I thought he was fine.
I thought the same. Like I do think he is a little annoying, but like it just makes Samus look cooler when like this dude is like nerding out in front of her, and she's just like, she doesn't even shrug.
No,
she'll just
silent.
Like turn away and be silent, and like he reacts to that where he's like, oh, and I think that's cool.
Like there are like, obviously he's a little cringy, he's supposed to be, but in the history of annoying NPCs, I genuinely didn't find him that bad.
Also, just in terms of like the way video game characters are written and acted, he lands squarely in the middle.
Yes, no, completely.
Like I defy anyone to show me a Xenoblade Chronicles character who is more annoying than this.
Right.
Like, or is less
annoying.
Is less annoying. Yes. They're all more annoying.
Yeah, so that was kind of maybe because I was expecting him to be horrible.
Yeah.
Based on the previews, but I found him like totally inoffensive. I don't even know that I would have thought twice about it.
Right.
If the previews hadn't made such a big deal about how annoying he is.
I will also just say that like when I play and this is, possibly me grading on a curve, an unwarranted curve or an unjustifiable curve. But when I'm playing a Nintendo game, I am never expecting the writing or performances to be like, it's not going to be a Naughty Dog game. It's not going to be a movie. Like, I just know that it's going to be crappier and that they're just like shooting for the middle. And if that's me accepting something bad, then that's me accepting something bad. But I'm just like, I don't feel like I don't want to engage with it on those terms.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I also have found the music is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing on my TV, which I don't normally do, but because I wanted to see how great the game looks, and I think
Game looks great.
It does really look great. I will say I have not found a control scheme that I'm totally loving. I was trying to remember how I played Metroid Prime Remastered, and I think I did it with like waggle controls. You know what I mean? Like with using the pointer.
Sure, like Wii style.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure I did it that way. So I started out on Metroid Prime 4 using a Pro Controller. And I chose like the first option, which is you use the right and left dual sticks, but when you're locked on, you can use motion controls to like aim the cursor.
Which is another thing that you have to engage because the motion controls are on a separate, like the tilt control assist is on a separate menu.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I didn't know that you could do until you and I talked about it. And I do think it's important to like let people know that if you are having trouble like wrapping your head around a control scheme, there are tons of options.
Yeah, and everything can be remapped, basically.
Yes,
like you have tons of options. So I started there, didn't love it. So then I was like, okay, let me try the other one where you're controlling the camera with pointer control, with motion controls.
Yeah.
Could not get into that at all with the Pro Controller.
It's too much control in the on the motion.
So then I tried like going back to how I played Remastered with like almost like Wiimote style.
Split Joy-Con.
Yes, and wasn't really feeling that either. I tried mouse controls. I don't know if you've tried mouse controls at all.
I have not tried them yet.
And that actually has a great level of precision, but I found in the like controlling the cursor and the camera and stuff, but I found it too difficult to hit like the buttons I want to hit. So I've just gone back to the Pro Controller.
The buttons are tough too, though. Like there are 4 face buttons, and one of them is a redundant like shoot button, and then it's like jump, ball, and scan mode, scan visor, right? And I would say that every time I try to activate one of them, there's like a 50% chance I get it wrong.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, I need to bomb this. Like, pull up the scan visor. No, put that away.
Yeah, no, I'm always fumbling the scan visor and turning into a ball.
Yeah, it feels like those should be 2 different things, right? Like they should be far away from each other, but they're not. They're just like X and Y.
But yeah, for all the discussion around it on our show in the world, I'm finding it to be a pretty good Metroid Prime game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm finding the same. The game, at least to this point, is a little more linear than I like.
So linear.
Yes.
But it's early days, but yeah, up to this point it's like corridor.
Right.
Yeah.
But I am always running by things where I'm like, I can't do that yet. I'm going to come back here for it. I can't do that yet. I'm going to come back for it. So that's cool. And like driving around the desert on the motorcycle is actually kind of cool. I also think that like I was not expecting there to be like a big lore reason for like why the motorcycle exists. The entire second area is like based around why the viola exists.
It is funny because like the aliens are really tall and ethereal, and it's
Right.
like, are they the ones riding the motorcycle?
I mean, I
I'd
think
wanna
yes.
see that.
I think yes. It's also possible that their ghosts are different from.
I guess that's possible.
Like we don't know what our ghosts look like.
No.
And we never will.
Hopefully I die before you, and then I can come visit you as a ghost.
And you can show me what you look like as
Yeah.
a ghost. I bet you look like the Lamorne. That's it.
That'd be awesome.
They have 4 arms, right?
They do, yeah. I think.
Which makes me wonder, like,
And
how
they're
they're
like 12
riding
feet
this.
tall.
They're very tall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe this is their business. It's like they were kind of remind me of the Kaminoans from Kaminoans, or whatever you say.
I've heard both.
From Attack of the Clones.
Yes. Except
with like a lion mane going on.
They do use the bikes. You've not experienced this point yet, but they explain that they ride those bikes.
Oh, I can. Oh, that makes me so excited to hear them explain.
It's
what the bikes.
I mean,
for.
we'll talk about this game, I think, for a while, but yeah, that's when you get like the download on the bikes and like how that figures into like their society's journey. Like I laughed out loud.
Oh my gosh, there's so much lore around the bike.
Yeah, I know. This is what I'm saying.
Okay,
there's lore around the bike, and it's funny. Or at least I found it to be really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a blast with it. I'm not dying as much as I am, Mark, kind of getting lost. Like for a game that I already have now complained about being too linear, and people saying that like the companion character gives you too many hints. I've gotten like fully lost, like have to retrace my steps entirely twice in the first 4 hours of gameplay.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't know what the people who are critical of this game, what experience they're having. You can be critical of the game. I guess that's not fair of me to say, but like I don't know. I think it's a pretty good Metroid Prime game, just like you said.
I mean, we're also very early into it.
Right.
But yeah, so far I am enjoying it.
You want to talk a little bit about the Tetris 99 Kirby Air Riders Tetris Maximus Cup?
Sure. This was the 50th Tetris 99 Maximus, which is pretty crazy. Another Kirby theme. Music.
I think that makes the 6th Kirby theme.
Music from Air Riders is good.
The music from Air Riders is very good, yes.
In fact, I don't think we've talked
about Air Riders.
Which I didn't pick up, but you'd have.
I did pick up because, of course, as I said before, I pre-ordered all of the amiibos. And why am I spending $100 on amiibos for a game I'm not going to buy? I have to get the game, so I did. And Kirby Air Riders, Mark, rips. It's so fun and so like fast and enjoyable. It is sort of the quintessential like gaming junk food in that I don't really think about it at all while I'm not playing it. The idea of like trying to min-max the game or like develop strategies while playing it sickens me because all I want to do is turn it on, have fun for 45 minutes, and then turn it off.
Who are you playing as?
Lololo and La La La.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Once I unlocked them, I was like, well, obviously, these are my boy and girl. Or whatever they are. They're balls. They're one blue ball and one pink ball. They're wonderful. But they're who I'm playing as most. Otherwise, I'll just like, I'll go Kirby. Like,
and are you doing like the city ride or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm doing city trials. And just like the main air ride. Doing the, because it has all of those like unlockable, like that grid of little achievements. I can go into any of the modes, like find, one thing that I have, like one achievement that is adjacent to one that I've already gotten. So it'll tell me what the condition for it is. And then I go in and try to get it. And then that unlocks like the things around it. And I can see what they are as well. And I just work on that for a little bit. In various modes. I've gone online. There was an event around Thanksgiving, and I put 3 hours into the event, which is more than I've played of in any single session of Kirby Air Riders. And it's just fun. I've not done much of that like top down racing. I forget exactly what that's called.
Oh, right, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's kind of the least exciting. But yeah, no, I'm having a blast with Kirby Air Riders.
So I also over Thanksgiving was playing the Donkey Kong Bananza Emerald Rush event, where the goal was to unlock Chunky Kong and Lanky Kong
Yes.
statues.
Now, these are Kongs whose names you've cursed in the past.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. I like Chunky. I like Chunky more than I like Lanky, and it was good for me that Chunky was easier to get because of the first event I was able to knock out so quickly. This event took place on the hilltop layer, and
That's a tough layer.
try as I might,
Yeah.
I was not able, no matter, I tried so many different strategies, I was not able to unlock
Lanky.
I wasn't able to get that million points. I was able to, my highest was like 720,000 or something like that. So now I have a Chunky statue. I'm hoping this will be like the Maximus Cups in Tetris 99.
They'll surface
where
them again,
where
yeah.
it'll come back around. But yeah, I tried probably like 4 or 5 hours over the course of the week. Yeah, over the course of the week.
I thought you were going to say 4 or 5 times.
No, like 4 or 5 hours
my
over
God.
the course of the week, and I was not. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Wow. I have not done any of the events.
They're theoretically
Emerald
fun.
Rush.
I found this one fun as well.
Yeah.
Just frustrating that I wasn't able to crack it.
Yeah. Yeah, when they come back around, or I don't know. I do think it's cool that games like Bonanza and Air Riders are presenting these like events. And like I think there are like soft events in Mario Kart World, right? Like that there are like little tournaments happening inside of it.
That could be true.
It just seems like they're doing a lot to, not a lot. They're doing there's something to incentivize people to play these games at specific times. And Bonanza notwithstanding, that's good for Mario Kart and good for Air Riders because they require people to be playing it together.
Yeah, totally.
Online. So that's good and cool.
The event was called. I've been trying to find it. It was called "So Strong It's Funny."
Gotcha. One of them so strong, the other one it's funny. Right. Mark, 2 other games I've been playing that I just want to shout out quickly because I've not put a ton of time into either. But Marvel Cosmic Invasion came out on early December, maybe like the 1st or 2nd.
What is this?
This is the Marvel game that is very much like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Oh.
It's the beat 'em up where it's like a tag team style. So you pick 2 Marvel characters and you go through a beat 'em up style level together. It's cool. It's fun. I love all the deep cut Marvel characters, both that you play as and that are your enemies, that are like sort of NPCs that you encounter. I've not brought it online or played any multiplayer, but I really want to try to trick Sarah into playing this with me because she likes a lot of these Marvel characters, right? We got like Rocket Raccoon is in there and others. It's also just fun to, and Shredder's Revenge was like this as well, that like you can see a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tournament fighters moves in those characters' movesets. And you can see a lot of like Marvel versus Capcom moves coming out of especially the X-Men, like Storm and Wolverine. Their movesets come like straight out. Wolverine does a Berserker Barrage, right? And so it's just cool that there is so much like video game legacy to draw on for the Marvel characters that this game can reference. I always say that one of the things that separates Super Smash Brothers as a platform fighter from every other platform fighter that tries to mash up different IPs is that like Nintendo has a gameplay legacy to draw on, and like the Nicktoons don't. And that proves to be a strength also of these .emu developed beat 'em ups as well.
Yeah, that is neat. So you're saying that you're basically able to like start the game, choose a character that had been in a previous like arcade game, and just kind of be familiar with how that character moves. And
and you will recognize a lot of like their move sets, and there are characters that you that have not been in other games. The my favorite of which is probably the Cosmic Ghost Rider, which for those who haven't been reading comics over the last like 6 years is a mashup of Punisher and Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer. So like imagine that, his head is like a dome, like a glowing red dome with a skull in it. Like it's awesome, right? Um, but so yeah, some of it is very familiar and some of it is still like alien and cool and fun like that. And it owes a lot of that weirdness to the fact that it is based in like cosmic Marvel stuff, which is some of the weirder stuff. And then, Mark, I wanted to talk to you about this Detective Instinct Farewell, My Beloved.
What is this?
Okay, so I believe this was in an indie showcase or a Nintendo Direct. It is a Famicom Detective Club like. And just like early in any Famicom Detective Club, I find myself falling asleep while playing it. But the writing is pretty good, and the art is good, if a little bit. It's funny. I didn't play the original Famicom Detective Clubs. I played the remakes, and I think I have been spoiled by the beautiful art in those remakes, and kind of going back to a more like 8-bit aesthetic in Detective Instinct feels like a step down to me. But I'm going to like persevere through this one and see through to the end of this mystery. It does seem to have a little bit more like interactivity in the mystery solving, which is something that I always say that I want in Famicom Detective Club. But now that I'm encountering it, I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I just want to be with my dude while he solves the crime,
I'm looking at screenshots and it almost to me looks like it has like a GBA / Nintendo DS type of aesthetic to it.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Interesting.
I think you would dig it. The game that it really made me think of was Hotel Dusk, which I picked up after we played. What is that? Dear Me, I Was. Who had the art by the same illustrator, which is a mystery narrative game. And that game has pacing problems, capital P, and that's what I was reminded of playing Detective Instinct, where I'm just like, okay, guys, let's pick these things up. But
that does sound cool, though.
It is cool, and I
see it's on sale right now.
Yeah, there you go. It is a relatively new release. All right, Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
All right, first we'll check in on Nintendo Music, and last week there was a special midweek release of 7 tracks from the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond soundtrack. And then this week is Yoshi's Crafted World on Switch.
Which I meant to check back up on, but didn't. I liked Yoshi's Crafted World as a game, even acknowledging that it's like a pretty slight experience. But I think the music may be a little bit more tolerable than the other Yoshi games.
Yeah, I didn't play Crafted World.
Yes.
But my memory is that was Woolly World the one right before that?
Yes, Woolly World was the one on Switch.
People were really liked the soundtrack to Woolly World, and that Crafted World was the one that people were like, why does this sound worse?
Maybe that's
but it could be the reverse. I didn't play either of those games. The Yoshi games they've never
and
appealed to me.
I did play both of those games.
But yes, that is now on the Nintendo Music app. Also, while we were on a news break, Nintendo added more games to the Nintendo Classics NES and Game Boy libraries. Plus, they added the ability to remap controls on both of those after the update. So on the NES, they got...
And there's a new CRT filter on the NES.
Yes, that's right. So for the NES, there is Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos.
Cool.
And Battletoads.
Awesome.
I didn't realize there were yet more Battletoads to be added to the platform.
Just the original Battletoads.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, I didn't mention it in what I've been playing, but I did play through the first 10 levels of Battletoads. 10 of 12. Couldn't get to the end of the 10th level. Couldn't finish it. Despite the fact that I have at 2 separate points in my life committed that game to memory, I cannot do it.
Wow.
Even with rewind.
Yeah,
stuff.
wow. And then the Game Boy, I would say, filled out one of its biggest missing
Yes.
games with Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters, the sequel to Kid Icarus,
Mhm.
and Bionic Commando for the Game Boy also released.
Both pretty good Game Boy games. You and I played Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters back when we did a Kid Icarus month, however many years ago. I think we were both like sort of lukewarm on it. I think it is the worst of the Kid Icarus games, but like eminently playable, and for a Game Boy game, like feels pretty expansive and good. And then Bionic Commando I messed around with for like an hour and had a good time. So I think it's very cool that all 4 of these games are playable, interesting parts of the NES or Game Boy library.
Also,
still waiting on Mole Mania though.
Mole Mania
on Game Boy, and Wario Land. Frankly, the Super Mario Land 3 that should be on there.
Also, I don't think we got to talk about them before our little Thanksgiving hiatus, but both Picross S Capcom Classics Edition and Picross S SNK Classics and Neo Geo Edition were announced and released since our last episode. Oh, that's right. We talked about it in Discord, but not on the show itself.
Yes, that's right. So just like they had done with what was the version of this that was out before? I played it.
Sega?
No, it's the Namco.
Right? Oh, yes, that's right. All those beloved Namco characters.
Yes. Pac-Man and other Pac-Man. The Dig Dug guy, I guess, as well. But yeah, that's these are all like the Jupiter developed Picross S games, which are good. But now they look like Mega Man or Arthur from Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins, whatever the name of that game is. So cool. These go on my list of like Picross games to pick up at some point.
Now, as far as actual new releases go,
we're finally there.
Today, December 9th, Final Fantasy VII Original and Final Fantasy VIII Remastered Twin Pack are getting a physical release on Switch in North America. Plus, Final Fantasy IX Retail Edition is also released in North America.
So, yeah, these were and we talked about these in the news a couple weeks ago. But yeah, physical releases of the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy games, 9 by itself and then 7 and 8 together.
Yeah.
And they're priced the same. That like each collection is priced identically to the other. These, I mean, we can file this under like a weird December release, just not from Nintendo. Why wouldn't you try to get these out before Black Friday?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
And then on tomorrow, on Wednesday, December 10th, Pokemon Legends ZA, the Mega Dimensions. Sorry, it's not called the Mega Dimensions. What I was about to say was the Mega Dimensions DLC, but that just makes everything confusing. It's Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension.
There you go.
Which is the DLC for the game. I don't know. Nintendo seems like they've been on a little bit of a kick recently where DLC for games comes out really quickly after the game itself was released.
Yeah, because we had that for Donkey Kong Bananza as well. I guess those are the only 2 that have had like paid DLC so far, right?
Yeah, I guess that's
year.
True. I guess that's
and
true.
Like nothing had DLC last year.
Yeah.
Which was a weird year for Nintendo. We will never stop talking about it.
And then on December 12th is a game that you've highlighted.
Oh, yeah.
Terminator 2D No Fate.
Okay. Have you seen footage of this game?
I don't think so.
So it looks like the old 16-bit, possibly even 32-bit, side-scrolling action platformers of the past, like Blackthorn and Flashback. But it's the story of Terminator 2, and it looks rad. The game looks incredibly cool. It was originally set for release on October 31st, Halloween, and much like Mina the Hollower, was delayed out of that date. But unlike Mina the Hollower, it has a new release date, which is December 12th. The game looks cool. I like Terminator as a franchise. I love Terminator 2. And so a lot of games have come out just recently that I'm like, oh, I need to pick, like little things like the Marvel Cosmic Invasion and the Detective Instinct. And so this kind of goes in that pile for me where like I'm probably going to pick it up and not get to it for a while. But it seems really cool. Okay. Those are the new releases. Mark, let's close this segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo, so for the duration of one performance, 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark, we are talking today about Wicked for Good. If you have not seen the second Wicked film, skip ahead 4.5 minutes right now, because we'll spoil it probably. Mark, the reason I was stumbling through that introduction is I saw John Cage and wanted to do like a John M. Cage, like John M. Chu, for the director of the film, and my brain was like trying to figure out how to do it, and I was just stumbling over my words. But yes, we both saw Wicked separately.
Yeah.
And not for NCS at the movies or anything like that. What'd you think of Wicked for Good?
So I have to say, I have never seen Wicked, the stage production.
Yes.
But I have heard the score at some point, and my memory was that the second half was not very strong. But I really liked the first part of Wicked.
Yeah.
And so that made me look forward to the second part. I thought it was horrible. Yeah. I hated Wicked for Good. So
that's similar to you. I've never been a Wicked guy. I know what happens in it. I know the songs, because I feel like I've always had friends in my life who have been like Wicked heads, and I like the first Wicked movie fine. I get so frustrated with how it interrupts its own songs to do like a dumb little action sequence, especially Defying Gravity. Defying Gravity should be a 3-minute pop song. It should not be a 20-minute action sequence. That doesn't make any sense, John M. Cage. But yeah, I also thought that Wicked for Good was like almost incomprehensible. Like I wanted to with the first movie, I was like, at least these performances are strong, and I think there are moments of strong performing in For Good.
Isn't it? It is so weird to me. To me, it felt like that they were not filmed together. To me, it felt like a legacy sequel where it was like 5 years later or something.
Sure, yeah.
They're like, we're gonna make a sequel finally, and Cynthia Erivo was like, I don't want to, and they were like, here's a bunch of money, because she seemed so disconnected and bored. Like I thought she seemed so bored. However they shot Jonathan Bailey, he looked awful.
And you're not just talking about the end with this scarecrow design, which I gotta say, guys, try it again. That wasn't it.
Yeah, I thought he like looked bad.
Yeah.
In the movie, and I understand that they are beholden to what happens in the play, which, like I said, I haven't seen. But the turns that characters have that feel so completely unmotivated, where it's like, wait. Nessa's an authoritarian now?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
like,
true.
What?
It skips so many steps. And even, like, accepting the fact that, like, that Fierro is, like, into Elphaba and is just sort of, like, hiding it so he can, like, hunt her but not like hurt her. Like none of that is played for like any emotional reality. It's just like the plot machinations demand that he be like part of the guard hunting her down, but also, you know, have sex with her in this treehouse.
Right.
Yeah, it just and it's also like edited within an inch of its life. Like we hop around between like locations and time periods. How much time does this movie take place over?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea.
Because there's a part where it intersects with The Wizard of Oz, and you're like, oh, so over the course of the next 15 minutes, everything here plays out. And the movie takes like an hour and a half to do that. But yeah, it feels like it should be like time-lapsed over a decade or something.
Right. Yeah, I was really disappointed. I thought it was, really awful.
And not only is Nessa an authoritarian who's enacting a Munchkin travel ban.
I could not believe when he shows up at the train station.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff. But then somehow she's able to use magic to like hollow out his heart by accidentally reading from this book.
And look, like Elphaba, after the first time, stop just reading whatever the book pops open to.
Totally.
Like,
also,
you don't have to do it. Like, didn't
leave
you
the book
look
at home.
7 is out.
Oh, wait a minute.
Code along on a
Well, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know
there's
for
a
sure.
lot more we could say about Wicked for Good. We were accompanied today by Stateless Code. All right, Mark, let's get into the news. Also, I gotta say, still on the subject of Wicked for Good, the song For Good in the musical is like pretty powerful, and like if there is a like hint of emotional truth to the second half of Wicked, it's that like these two women changed each other, and like the power of their friendship is like weird but good, and it just I did not feel it in this movie.
I felt like when that song happened,
Yes.
it was like, okay, I can understand theoretically a story that gets us from the first part
Yes.
to this song, but the like the things that happen in the second part of Wicked
Yeah.
do not add up to that moment for me.
Not at all.
personally.
Also, where does Glinda's like authority come from? Like, why is she like vice president basically?
Right. And at the end of the movie, okay, no, you're right.
We can move on. We can
need
move
to move on. Okay.
But if any like fresh thing bubbles up in your brain while we're doing the news, just like let me know.
Okay. Last week, Nintendo released Mario Kart World version 1.4.0 with lots of little additions and fixes. Like it seems like they really are paying attention to feedback and implementing it in sometimes a very Nintendo way, but they, like are making changes to it. The game has changed enormously from when it launched back in June. So some of the things they added, the ability to manage custom items,
which was a late addition to Mario Kart 8 as well.
Yeah.
Like very late, even after they were adding tracks and stuff. So that's very cool that you can do custom item rule sets.
I think just in free play, but possibly, or free roam, but possibly everywhere. The music track name and source of the track that's playing is displayed on the pause menu,
which is very cool.
Yeah, that's a great addition because the soundtrack's so good.
The soundtrack rips, which is why the next edition is, I think, my favorite.
The next edition is
cool
with an asterisk.
Yes.
They added music volume to settings.
Right. But settings, I mean, there are two wrinkles here. One, you can't just pull up, you can't just like hit plus and get to settings. These are the settings that you select like as you are picking out your character, basically, your character and cards.
Okay.
So it's a very like, whatever. But this is something, if theoretically, that I've been asking for forever, the ability to mess with volume sliders and turn down like character voices, sound effects, and turn up the music because I just want to hear the music.
Yes, but it's not a slider; it's a binary option. You can either do normal or loud.
Hilarious options. I gotta say, normal and loud are very funny options for the music. And when you put the music on loud, I actually don't know if it makes the music louder or if it makes everything else a little bit quieter.
I was wondering that because it's like this game would be very loud if they were just like, okay, we're over the cacophony of everything else.
Right.
We're just gonna make the music louder.
I think it just like balances it out so the music is louder in the mix. It's still not everything. Like you will still hear screaming and the blowing up of bombs and the slipping of banana peels. But it does do a good job of like centering the music in the experience. I played one circuit with this music volume set to loud, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't always have it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. They also made some improvements to online play, so players who are in a room for online play can participate in race, knockout, tour, and battle. Up to 4 players can participate in race, knockout, tour, and battle. And they made it so you can join in with friends who are playing knockout tour from like friends in 2-player and online play as well.
All of which is like just little tweaks to like the co-op experience, or I guess competitive experience as well.
I would say a kind of remarkable addition to my mind is that they changed the course layout.
Yes.
For versus races or races in online play, the ones all around like
Koopa Troopa
Beach, and there are these like before and afters that are on the internet where even you can look at like the course map, and they made some pretty dramatic differences. The idea is like to make those more interesting, to make them more fun. That's been a big point of feedback, and they actually went in and like have rearranged track layouts to make those more interesting.
And I think like the most like compelling part of the changes that they're making. So for everything that ends at Koopa Troopa Beach, they make it so you do the road to Koopa Troopa Beach and then have to do 2 laps of that track. Normally it was you just get there and they do 1 circuit of it and then it's over. And that is maybe like the worst version of a Mario Kart World track. You always want to like go through and do a second lap of something.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they started with this, but it's like, guys, do that to like everything. Like, let us do multiple laps of every track. Regardless of how long we drove to get there.
Yeah, like I said, like
or give us options.
Right. The changes from when it launched in June to now, like half a year later, are pretty remarkable, and they haven't said anything about them being done. So I do think, they see Mario Kart World as a long-term endeavor for the life of the Switch 2. And I think they're going to continue to tinker with it. It'll be really interesting to see. It feels like the pace of updates is also much faster than we saw with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like you said, some of these features that are coming now for Mario Kart World didn't come until the end of life for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or not at all in the case of like music.
Yeah,
settings.
Totally. Well, but what is interesting is that like this isn't so much new content as it is just like new presentations of the content that's already there, which something that I think we both said about Mario Kart World is that like, man, it's a great game, but like the package is just a little strange, and they are doing a lot to change that package or the way it is packaged. But yeah, they've not like added anything. There are no new characters, and there are a ton of characters, so how could they? And no new tracks, no new vehicles, no new costumes even. But yeah, I wonder how long they tinker before they start to actually add stuff, or if they ever do.
Right. Yeah. Nintendo is acquiring Bandai Namco Singapore.
Yeah.
So picking up a studio.
Maybe bigger news than an update to Mario Kart World.
Well, okay, so
maybe we don't know.
At Nintendo's last investor Q&A, they talked about how they are actively looking at acquisitions.
Yes.
To grow and support game development as development becomes more complicated and it takes longer to make games. They are looking to expand their development force, and they're trying to grow organically, and then they're also actively looking at acquisitions,
which is a very un-Nintendo kind of thing, right? Nintendo is sort of the king of having development partners, like other studios that make their games with like involvement from director level people at Nintendo, or sometimes just by themselves. Like someone like Goodfeel is they develop a lot of Nintendo games for Nintendo. Intelligent Systems, right? A company not at all owned by Nintendo, but like they just make Nintendo games. They're responsible for big Nintendo franchises like Fire Emblem or like Plant 42. What was the name of that game?
Right, yes.
That we talked about on that WiiWare game. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo to this point has seemingly been very comfortable just partnering with studios, and this is a marked change in that strategy.
And we were speculating, like who, before this announcement, who is left, like what partner studios are left for Nintendo to pick up.
That would be of the right size.
And we didn't even clock Bandai Namco Singapore.
Well, right. I think generally speaking, I don't have the clearest like knowledge of the inner workings of Bandai Namco. I know that Nintendo has worked with them a lot. So like, it would be tempting to say Nintendo could buy Bandai Namco, but Bandai Namco is an enormous company.
Right. And I knew that they, a team at Bandai Namco, not this team, works with Sakurai a lot.
Yeah.
Like they worked on Kirby Air Riders. They worked on like the last few Smash games. But this is not that.
Right.
What Nintendo specifically called out in their press release is that, Bandai Namco is a support studio that had worked on assets and stuff for Splatoon 3, as well as other games. Also, they were, Bandai Namco Singapore is the studio that was reported, but never, confirmed to be the studio that was originally developing Metroid Prime 4 before it was retooled under Retro.
We do know for sure that it was Bandai Namco some studio within them,
I mean,
right?
Nintendo never said.
Well,
There
right.
were like news reports that is true, and same with like the news reports were saying it was Bandai Namco Singapore,
Yeah.
but that's never been officially confirmed. But yes, is probably the case.
I mean, this is one of those like Nintendo business moves where like I don't think we totally know what it means, or what like the first game that we will see come out of Bandai Namco Singapore. Have they been working on something already?
Will we ever see a game like that is just from
Great point.
Bandai Namco Singapore, or is it more of a support studio that will continue to make?
Right.
Because a lot of Nintendo studios work in a support capacity.
Right.
Like on Metroid Prime 4, the credits revealed that like Next Level Games worked on it. So which is very similar to a structure with big developers like Ubisoft or something like that,
Yeah.
where there's like a lead studio and then other teams are chipping in, and it's just the way that Nintendo is structured, where it has all these different like companies with different names. It's interesting to see. Oh yeah, like Next Level Games contributed. I think Retro at some
Right.
contributed to a bunch of games like Mario Kart 7. So I wonder if Bandai Namco,
Right, and like Monolith, working
Yes.
on like the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and it's also interesting that like Nintendo internally has so many like divisions that like that like they know, and that if you like really dig, you can find like individual credits for these things. But like who makes the Mario games? You're like, well, that's Nintendo. And so as a studio or a group of people at Bandai Namco Singapore makes a game, will we ever know that that's them? Will they retain that name and that separate identity? And like, sort of what do they gain from that? Next Level Intelligence Systems, which is I know not owned by Nintendo, and Retro, some of those like have enough identity that selling them on that brand in addition to the Nintendo brand is helpful. But does Bandai Namco Singapore, does that brand mean anything?
right.
Right.
They will be renamed Nintendo Studios Singapore.
There you go.
But yeah, just another interesting data point as we continue to see Nintendo make these acquisitions at a, I would say, fairly rapid pace, especially for a company that for a long time did not grow this way. There's another company in here that now that we've seen all this movement that we're going to talk about a little bit later in news, that I'm like, I don't know, maybe these folks too. So we'll see. The Nintendo Today app has been updated to version 2.2. This version includes a new Donkey Kong theme and makes the app available in new countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines.
Great. Whole new theme in there. I gotta say, I've not really been using the Nintendo Today app. Have you continued to visit it daily, Mark?
No. I would say I like occasionally will pop into it, but for the most part, no. I don't even really think to.
Yeah, me too.
It's, believe it or not, it's not just us. It's not just our Discord. Pikmin Bloom had its most successful year since its launch. People are talking about Pikmin Bloom.
Yes. Many people are saying Pikmin Bloom. Go for a walk with these Pikmin. They got ice Pikmin now.
The game, or this is according to some, I don't have it written down here, but
sorry,
like,
I don't know the source.
but some like third-party analytic firm. But according to them, Pikmin Bloom crossed the $100 million revenue barrier with player spending threshold on December 1st of this year. That's in its lifetime, which is remarkable, but
because it's not that long of a lifetime,
right?
Yeah,
but it's not like Fire Emblem Heroes money.
No.
But it's growing, which is kind of like
$100 million,
which is kind of like the remarkable thing, since its launch, and then in 2023 it got that Pikmin 4 bump. Is that right? Was that 2023? I guess it was.
Yes, it was.
Wow, crazy. And every year it's been growing more and more. I mean, gosh, they talked about having a plan for Pikmin and trying to make it a thing, and
it's like
it's happening
to some extent.
Yeah.
I like to think that we have a little bit of a hand in that, just like a teeny little bit,
just a tiny bit,
little bit of a hand.
Yeah,
in that.
just a tiny bit.
I gotta say, every now and then when I have full up on Pikmin and I go to like pluck a new one and it's like, you're full. You can either go back and release Pikmin or like buy space for 50 more. I'm like, buy space for 50 more.
It's true. Yeah, when we said we have a little bit to do with it,
I've contributed money.
We
to
meant
this,
yes. We both have spent money on Pikmin Bloom. Yeah, for sure. For sure. There was one point where I was like, I'll just manage my Pikmin. But first of all, I love all my Pikmin.
Right.
And second of all, except the sticker ones, I don't love the sticker ones.
No, they can go to hell.
But so I have released those, and I don't pick up new ones. Those are like the bench ones, whatever. I don't care about those. But as when I have the opportunity to travel, I love getting postcards and Pikmin from those places, and I never want to release those because they're like little souvenirs from the places that I've been. And so,
and beyond that, like every year they kind of like loop back around on the same like events, and your Pikmin from the previous year won't be super powerful against like the mushrooms that pop up at that time. They will still be like 10 times or like maybe 4 or 5 times as powerful as a regular Pikmin. So like there's value in keeping any special Pikmin around.
Yeah, look, they got me.
They got us.
They have got me. So good on you, Pikmin Bloom.
Yep.
Good job, Miyamoto.
Great job, Miyamoto. I bought that shirt. That's just like Miyamoto's shirt.
Yeah.
In that Direct.
I mean, he showed up in that Nintendo Direct in 2022, was it?
I think that's right.
To be like, hey, let me talk to you about how cool Pikmin Bloom is. And we laughed. I think it was in the Cartridge Awards, I think it was like given the award that year for the strangest thing to happen.
Yeah, I know. And now it's shame on us.
And now, yes, shame, egg on our face. Shame on our face. Okay, another Metroid Prime 4 thing. Let's talk about the amiibo functionality.
Yeah, just because I don't know where else we would talk about this.
Let's talk about the amiibo functionality in the game. You have the amiibo that have released, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. I didn't pick up any of the amiibo. I feel like amiibo functionality is a no-win game.
100%.
You lock cool things behind it.
Uh-huh.
People are mad. You don't lock cool things behind it. People are mad.
Right. And you lock strange things behind it, and you've made Metroid Prime 4. Because, okay, so there are 3 amiibo. There's the Samus and Viola, and Silex. The Samus and Viola amiibo, when you scan it, you can change the color of the Viola.
That's cool.
And every time you touch it, it tells you how far the Viola has traveled.
What does that mean? Does like a voice tell you, or it just shows up on screen?
I think it displays on screen. And then once per day, you can increase the rate that the boost regenerates, which is like a little bit of an in-game functionality thing, but also like
and is that cumulative? Like every day you do it, it's getting a little faster permanently?
Oh, I don't know. I've not actually experimented with these yet. But that's one where it's like, oh, that should maybe be something that you can do in the game without an amiibo.
I mean, I guess, but it to me it seems like harmless to not be able
that's
to change the color, you know? It's like, yeah, okay.
Okay. The Samus amiibo. This is the strangest one to me.
Okay.
You can tap it and you can change the background music when riding the Viola. There's a music player in Metroid Prime 4 which is only accessible by scanning the Samus amiibo.
Oh, that's funny. I love everything about Viola. Viola. I keep saying
whatever, man.
Viola. I love everything about it. I love that it exists. I love that there's apparently a bunch of lore around it. I love that these aliens were riding it with like their weird head things probably blowing in the wind. That's great to me.
Their head tentacles are very axolotl.
Yes, which are having a moment. Axolotl are
they
huge
really?
with the kids. Yes.
Oh, well, I believe that.
And I love that they had like a radio that they were listening to their alien music on when they were.
And their alien music sounds like Metroid music. Once per day, you can also scan it to get like a bonus health shield that's like an additional energy tank. And when you activate the shield, it restores your health entirely. So that's a kind of like getting more health or healing up. That's a pretty standard Metroid. Well, it's useful, but it's also like previous Metroid amiibo have done that in previous Metroid games. Then there's the Silex amiibo, and after clearing the game, you can scan him to see different like cinematics from throughout the game. But you can do that if you 100% the game, then you have like a theater in there. Also, if you when you scan the amiibo, you hear a random line that Silex speaks. What is that? Stranger still, any other Metroid amiibo, you scan it and the game plays a sound from the game randomly.
That's so good.
What does that mean?
Oh my gosh, that's so good. The Silex one isn't out yet, right?
No, he came out on the day that the game came out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that is That's good. I like all of these. I think these are all great, and I don't feel bad for not having it.
Right.
But I love the idea that like your Silex amiibo, if you scan it, is like a pull string toy. You know?
Yeah, sure. And it's
Or
just there's a snake in my boot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are good.
It's good. It's very strange and very cool. It reminds me a lot of the wind. What are they called? The birds in Skyward Sword, Loftwing. The
Yes.
Zelda Loftwing amiibo, which would allow you to fast travel to the sky, which is very useful, but the game is imminently playable without it.
Right, and was it Metroid Dread that hard mode wasn't there a game where hard mode was locked behind?
Yeah.
See, like that feels like, oh yeah, that kind of stinks. But any of these, I don't know, if you really care about hearing,
right,
you know, Silex, then, or you really don't want to 100% the game, you want to have the video player. Sure, I guess buy the amiibo. I don't know. It seems harmless to me.
I think you could get the hard mode in whichever game used like the Metroid to scan that. You could get that by beating the game and then replaying with hard mode.
Oh, I see.
Which like is the case with Metroid Prime 4 as well. That like you can't access hard mode from the beginning.
That was the
Mark
other,
maybe never.
Yeah, that was the other calculus I did. I was like, okay, if I don't beat this on normal, I won't unlock hard mode. But what are the odds I'm ever going to play this game in hard mode?
Right.
Like 0%.
Right, but you might want to have it unlocked.
For what purpose?
To have it.
Pride.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
So somebody doesn't come over to my house and I turn on Metroid Prime 4.
You don't even have hard mode on this thing?
Well, you didn't beat the game on normal? You beat it, right? Yeah. Did you on casual? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's okay. I'll unlock hard mode.
And then I'll borrow your Switch if there's somebody coming
there
over
we
that
go.
I need to impress.
There we go.
Bloomberg.
Just so long as you know that you're never borrowing Kirby Air Riders from me.
Bloomberg's Jason Schreier published a report on the current situation at Shovel Knight and Mina the Hollower developer Yacht Club Games. And I didn't realize things had gotten so dire at Yacht Club Games that enough that they willingly participated. I don't know. They seemed like a very open game studio.
Yes.
Like very transparent.
Right. Well, and so they participated in this like interview with Schreier where they like kind of lay out that like, oh yeah, if Mina the Hollower does not sell well, they're cooked, right?
Yeah.
And while that feels like a sort of like unprecedented level of honesty and forthrightness, there was a blog post from 2022 or 2023 that lays out their financials in kind of excruciating detail, and really being like, here's how much it costs us to operate for a month, and that goes to this many developers, all getting paid like this much per week, and blah blah blah. And also laying out that like the original Shovel Knight campaign, at the point that they had sold 3 million copies of it, had a like 33 or 34% clear rate on the original Shovel Knight campaign, and then having the information that the next two campaigns have a clear rate of around like 11%, and then the King of Cards has a clear rate of less than 5%. So like this is all, if you weren't tracking Shovel Knight from the beginning, when they launched the game, it was launched through Kickstarter. And they had all these insane stretch goals of like, if we reach here, we'll add another campaign. And they did that 3 times. And so it took them years and years and years. But over the course of, I think it's like 6 years, they developed these 3 other campaigns plus Shovel Knight Showdown, which is a sort of platform fighter like add-on to Shovel Knight, and all just adding them to the original game. So if you bought the original game, you got basically 4 more additional games for free. Now that meant that they could keep like repackaging and like reselling it, but like the most that they sold of the game ever was in the first like tranche of like basically 1 million games, and then all those people that got in before any of the new content was added got all that content for free and didn't engage with it that much, or engage with it either 1/3 as much or 1/6 as much, depending on what the scenario is. And so like a question that I found myself asking before I read all this was like, how can Yacht Club afford to keep developing things for a game that they're not able to sell it as like add-on DLC. It's just new content, and the answer is like they couldn't, but they did anyway, and so they're burning through all of their reserve cash. And games like Pocket Dungeon, which they didn't develop but that they published, and like Cyber Shadow and Shovel Knight Dig, that these all come with like their own little like caveats of like they're supporting in some ways financial. Cyber Shadow, they like paid out the developer to like like get that game across the finish line, and like none of these things sell as well as Shovel Knight, not by a long shot. And even Shovel Knight, we're talking like 3 million copies. Hollow Knight Silk Song just sold double that since it came out like 2 months ago. So Yacht Club is a studio that I'm passionate about, and I think their games are great, and I'm so excited for Mina the Hollower to come out. But it does seem like it has to be good, and it has to sell really well, or Nintendo should buy Yacht Club Games.
Yeah, it's interesting. It explains why Mina the Hollower had a Kickstarter.
Yep.
So I remember that was a question when that happened. It's like, whoa,
yeah,
like what is the state, like why? You guys must be swimming in that Shovel Knight cash, but it's clear that that was not the case. What I found interesting about the article was that it focuses a lot on the troubled development of Mina the Hollower.
Yeah.
And but to me, kind of like the more interesting story that reading between the lines is poor management decisions that led them to this situation.
Right.
Because
it's not just Mina the Hollower that was in development at the time.
Right. They had two separate teams back in at least 2022. In 2024, they laid off some people and consolidated to one team to focus entirely on Mina the Hollower. But they put a like 25-year-old who had never directed a game before in charge of Mina the Hollower, while the leadership and another team were focusing on 3D Shovel Knight.
Right.
So to me, it seems like Mina the Hollower at one point or another was just considered like a small project, just to skunk works to see what happens, while the A team focused on 3D Shovel Knight. Spent 4 years on that, had nothing to show for it.
Yep.
And so they realized that they were going to run out of money sooner rather than later, and so pivoted to focus on Mina the Hollower.
Getting to a point where they're like, we need to put out some game that will drive revenue, and they were so far away from completing a 3D Shovel Knight game. But Mina the Hollower seemed like it was within grasp, but that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And in this blog post from 2022, like they kind of map it out where it's like by the end of the beginning of 2024, we're like out of money. Like Mina must come out and be successful at that time. 2 years have passed since then.
Yeah, and Jason Schreier, in his article, he talks about how everybody's burned out,
Of course.
But they know they have to get Mina the Hollower out as soon as they possibly can. And so everybody continues to crunch on it. I also thought it was interesting, the timing of this, because so much of the content of the article seemingly comes from Schreier's visit to Yacht Club Games before the announcement was made, when they brought journalists in.
Which was early October.
So why is this being published now?
Right. By now, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Like the beginning of December. Why is it publishing in the beginning of December? The other thing that I thought was interesting is in the article they say, if Mina the Hollower sells 200,000 copies, that they would be they would be really, really, that would be really, really great. And at 500,000, they would, quote, be golden, which to me makes sense why they delayed it, because they needed to come out of the gate good. But 200,000 copies, even 500,000 copies, I guess first of all, does not seem like that much for a studio like Yacht Club with that pedigree.
Right.
But on the other hand, that would be a sixth of what Shovel Knight has sold in its lifetime. So
totally.
So I guess what I thought Shovel Knight had sold is not. I assumed it had sold more than that.
I also am not really sure what these numbers mean or why that would be golden when they lay out their burn rate from 2022 and they're like, it costs us $5 million a year to run the studio. If the game is $40 and they're charging or and they sell 500,000 copies, like that's not that much. You know what I mean?
Right. Like how does that math work
how does
out?
that math work out?
Yeah.
So yeah, all of it it seems like a house of cards over there. I love them to death. I don't want them to go away. I would love for Yacht Club to continue to make games forever. I'm still very excited about Mina the Hollower, and most of like the chatter around the game from like the previews and all that is that like it is good.
I mean, I will say the discussion
In our Discord was a little bit more mixed,
from
yeah.
people who had played the demo was more mixed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I didn't play the demo because I was like, I'm fine. I'm going to buy it
Right,
anyway. It's
sight
going to come
unseen.
out on Halloween, and that's fine. And now I'm like, oh, should I check out that? Is the demo still up?
I think it is,
Okay,
yes, but I
okay.
don't know for sure. Yeah, I just thought fascinating. And you had found that blog post from 2022. I don't think there's any other studio that I'm aware of that is so
Right.
transparent with like the finances and the mechanics of making games. It's all just very interesting to me, and I hope that they're able to pull it out.
Yeah, me too. The other thing that like Yacht Club is that makes me wonder like if there are just like some kind of issues with like management or priorities or whatever, but like they're so into pushing Shovel Knight as a like sort of indie game mascot. Like any game that has any indie game that has guest characters in it, Shovel Knight is there. Shovel Knight is an assist trophy in Smash Brothers Ultimate, right? But they also do a ton of merchandising, and like I know it's mostly just like working with partners to like license out Shovel Knight for these things, but that's like effort and time and money that like the staff has to spend on making those deals happen. They do really high quality vinyl releases of the soundtracks, and that's all stuff that is like very cool, and I'm glad that someone is doing it, but I'm also like, do you guys have the resources to throw at this? Again, I don't want to like take shots at a cool company doing something cool, but it is kind of like, guys, let's keep the house in order so you can keep making games.
Wither Call of Duty on Switch or Switch 2. Remember that Microsoft and Nintendo signed an agreement in 2022 for 10 years of Call of Duty support if their acquisition of Activision Blizzard went through, which it did in 2023. We haven't heard anything official about Call of Duty coming to Switch or Switch 2, although there were reports earlier this year when the most recent Call of Duty was announced and Switch 2 support wasn't included, that they are like working on it.
Right. The deal did not say when the 10 years would start.
As far as we know,
Right.
yeah. But there's a new report recently from Insider Gaming pointing out a job listing on LinkedIn from Sledgehammer Games seeking a senior technical artist, and in the like kind of like, it'd be great if you had this, but it's not a requirement section of the listing. It calls out looking for someone with AAA mobile or Switch experience.
Interesting.
So Sledgehammer
still working on it.
Yeah, Sledgehammer was a support studio on this year's Call of Duty, which I didn't look up, but I think from memory is maybe Black Ops 6.
Oh, you're gonna try to call out the specific game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, because I keep referring to it in this write-up as this year's Call of Duty.
Oh, sure.
And it's because I don't know what the title is, but
yeah.
I think it's it's a Black Ops game, and I think it might be Black Ops 6. Anyways, so Sledgehammer was a support studio on that game, but is reported to be the lead studio on the 2027 title. So who knows what any of this means? Maybe nothing, because it's a AAA mobile or Switch. So, I mean, what does that even mean?
I'm also not really sure how like the Lion's complaint against Elphaba is that she freed him as a cub.
Yeah.
How is that a complaint?
No, that doesn't really make sense either. And the Tin Man is so angry.
He's so angry.
He's so angry, which like I kind of get, but also
Doesn't have a heart.
It's off-putting.
Right.
Finally, video game studio Panic Button. Now, this is the studio I was referring
There
to
you
as
go.
a possible acquisition. So, Panic Button revealed it's behind the Switch 2 updates for some of Nintendo's first-party games, including new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and ARMS.
Right. So none of these are games that have Switch 2 editions, but just have versions of them that run better on Switch too, which is all work that we know needs to be done manually. It's not just like the machine is more powerful, therefore the game automatically runs better. And it's interesting that like this is a space that Nintendo's not had to operate in before. And it is cool that Panic Button has gotten to do so much of this.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's also just like a like opportunity cost thing.
Yeah.
Like it just makes more sense for Nintendo's internal studios to be focused elsewhere.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
And Panic Button is a they are responsible for some of like the impossible ports to the original Switch. Also, it kind of reminds me and reminded me that Nintendo bought that other port studio, like Virtuos or something like that.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
like
that's
a few
right.
years ago. So yeah, I mean, interesting timing for Panic Button to be making this announcement, that like this reveal, and for Nintendo to be in acquisition mode. So
yeah, well, and like you do have to give a little bit of credit here, where like the little girl playing young Glinda does have Ariana Grande's like dimples when she smiles.
That whole thing drove me crazy because I understand academically what they were doing,
right?
Where it's like we have flashbacks in the first one, so we'll have flashbacks in the second one,
right?
But unlike the first one, it pays off in no way
whatsoever. Although sometimes it does flashback to the events of the first movie, which I sort of liked because I liked the first movie more than the second. But yeah, all in all, quite incoherent. All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, if you're not in our Discord, you should be. Email us, nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com. I will send you an invitation and then probably explain what Discord is to you. It's like a chat room. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.
I was so close. It's Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
Oh, that is really close.
Is the one that came out this year.
Does it have a subtitle, or are they just like content with the number?
Black Ops 7 is the subtitle. It's like Call of Duty.
Oh, sure.
But I see what you're saying. No, there is no like Dawn of Justice or anything.
Because it's not Call of Duty 7 : Black Ops.
No, because this would be like Call of Duty. I don't even know at this point.
We're in a sub-series. It would be like if they made a second Songbirds and Snakes.
Wait, what? What is Songbirds and Snakes?
That's the Hunger Games.
Oh,
the Hunger Games prequel. It's the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
I thought I was having like a stroke, and I'm like, is that what Shoots and Ladders is called? Like, I was really, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Black Ops 7.
There you go.